All right, really good win. We knew it was going to be a battle. Bart does a tremendous job with his program, that team. They were a very difficult challenge for us, just matchups. It was matchup nightmares all over the place, but very proud of our kids. They were very resilient. Got off to a little bit of a slow start. But they battled. They battled. They stepped up. They did a tremendous job fighting. Made adjustments. They went to them and just performed well because we knew it was going to be a difficult, challenge tonight with Belmont. They played Ohio State. I watched that game about 10 times, and I still don't know how they lost that basketball game. They're talented. I watched their game against Mississippi State. I still don't know how they lost that basketball game. But they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in their league, and so it's a really good win for us. Really good win. I think we're going to learn a lot about ourselves. So very proud of our kids.
Raise your hand for questions. We'll start with Tanya and then go to Caroline.
Coach, Georgia had 3 points midway through the second.
I wonder why.
Yeah, and then she comes out in the second half and rolls off 20. Can you just talk about her ability to just take over a game when you need her to?
It's really funny because it's nothing that I haven't seen before. As she's going out there and she's playing like that, to me it honestly just feels normal. And then I can go coach the next play, and then I can do some things because I've seen it for 4.5 years now, and her ability. And one of the things that people are asking me, and people seem like they look at her stat sheet or her stat line, and they say, well, how do you think Georgia's playing? I think she's playing phenomenally. It really is. She really started off the year as a facilitator, which she is. We talked about maybe 3 or 4 games ago about being a little bit more aggressive. Her shot hasn't been falling as much as she would like, and she got into the gym, and she just worked and worked and worked, and now she sees the fruit of her labor because nobody works as hard as she does. And she shot the ball today and pregame, and I just knew it was going to be a good night because it was really coming off her hand the way that it normally does. It looked really good. She felt confident about it. She did let me down. I had a point guard named Dawn Evans when I was at James Madison, and on my birthday, my 42nd birthday, she scored 42 points. I told Georgia I was 56. So she came up a little bit short. But I thought she was trying to go for the 56. But I'm happy for her. I've always been proud of her. She's a little bit hard on herself, but she's a perfectionist, and tonight was she got to see the hard work come to fruition.
Georgia trailed at the half. What was not working in those first 20 minutes that you saw?
I mean, they said it from the get-go, and by they, I mean the coaches, that Belmont's aggressive. They don't give up. They're pesky. They're there on rebounds, and it's not something that we've been the best at grasping early in the games, even against other teams. We've had scrappy games like Purdue, Fort Wayne. I remember they were scrappy as well. So we knew that they were coming, but I don't know if we just didn't believe they were going to do it until it finally happened, but at the time it was like we're giving it to them, they're the ones to the ball, they're more desperate for everything, they're hitting big time shots, and we're just kind of relaxed on defense. So that was like the biggest adjustment, which is coming with more energy and just being more aware. They're a difficult team to play against because you think you have one coverage down and they have 4 other options out of that one action. So it's one of the games for us where you can't relax. If you blow something up, if you play action well, then they have more in their back pocket. So, I mean, it was a good team to play against for that reason because, I don't think I've played a team like this quite yet.
Brad?
Hey, Coach. So 2-part question here, I guess. So early in the first half, it looked like they were getting to the rim, getting some shots up on you guys, and then they out-rebounded you and quite a bit undersized. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, they weren't really that smaller than us. They went with a big lineup tonight with Harrison and Cheeseman. And Cheeseman, I think Kentucky fans might be a little familiar with her. She played at Vanderbilt, and so they started that lineup. So it made them bigger. As Georgia alluded to, I thought we were a little bit slow to the ball a couple times. But I thought we were soft with the basketball a couple of times. We got our hand on it, but we didn't corral it or pull it in. And that's something that we're going to have to understand, that we're going to have to do as we start to play a little bit more aggressive basketball teams. And we have to put our height, our length on display and go out there and really take advantage of it. And I don't think that we did that quite quite enough or quite early enough. We did it when we had to, but we need to be more aggressive early on in the game.
Phoenix, John.
Coach, it seems like in these last few games, offensively, it's kind of taken a minute to get flowing. Just really as a whole, as a team, would you attribute that to trying to like feel the game out, or what would you say the reason for that may
We're still
be?
filling each other out, and it's every day kids are proving to me that they can do this or they can do that. So we put in about three new sets plays this week that we wanted to try to get the basketball in different areas to Amelia, to Deja Lawrence. And so it's kind of like, hey, it's trial and error. Let's see if this works. Let's go here, go there. And but last week when we played Purdue, that we were slow. We were a little bit hesitant because I didn't know what they were in. I thought they were in a 3-2, and then probably 4 minutes into the game, Georgia comes over to me and she says they're in a box and one. Then we made an adjustment, and then we start scoring. So that's one of the gifts that I have, is having a coach on the floor. And but it's just really stepping up and being assertive and but understanding each other.
John, Katie, Josh.
Yeah, Coach, ever since you were introduced, you've been ranting and raving about Georgia. And it's not that we didn't believe you, but sometimes we have to see it with our own eyes. We're seeing it with our own eyes. But what more are you expecting from her? I got a feeling we ain't seen nothing yet, right?
It's like I used to say it to Hokie Nation. Don't get bored with it, all right? Enjoy it. Enjoy every second. It's not normal. It's not, and I've gotten to the point where I try to appreciate it for what it is, and not just because she's my player and I've seen it all the time. But nobody works harder than this kid. Nobody wants it more than she does. And she eats, sleeps, drinks it, thinks it. She thinks it as a coach. She's even, we were watching film as a coaching staff the other day, and a little knucklehead snuck in, and she wants to see it because she wants to be a coach. And so for me, that is, my coach did that for me. And when I told him that I wanted to be a coach, he invited me into stuff. He coached me differently, and I've been able to coach her differently. But DBN is just a special moment. Even if you only have her for a year, I really embrace it. Really embrace it because she's spectacular, and everybody knows it. Some of her discourse a little bit, or trying to play, is because she's having to go against so many different defenses. So I lay awake at night. Okay, how am I going to get her free? How am I going to help put her in position so she can be free? Because now they're double teaming her, they're hard hedging on her, and they're trying to mix it up all the time and keep her guessing, but she still gets through it and does a tremendous job. So really enjoy it, and my advice to everybody out there who's really watching, don't take it for granted, because she's really, really special.
Katie.
Georgia, tonight you made 7 threes, and that's the most that you've made all season. So was tonight almost like a confidence builder for you from the perimeter?
I don't think it was tonight specifically, but the past, since the UNC game, when I think I had many open shots that I just didn't take. As you said, I've been in the gym. I've shot way more this past couple of weeks than I really have. I've put a little effort into it, and I think tonight I had a slow start. My first shot looked good, but it didn't drop, and then from then I was like, okay. And it got to a point where offensively we weren't really moving or going or aggressive. So I was like, my confidence is going to come out, and it's always been there. And this first bit of the season has definitely been a bit of a challenge, as Coach Brooks said. I'm dealing with trying to incorporate everyone and read defenses, and I've never had a box and one or a triangle and two played against me before in my life, so it's just all new. But I'm finally hitting my feet, and I'm building confidence every single game. Tonight was just their defense, really the undisciplinedness of it, kind of let me have really, really wide open shots to take advantage of.
You want, and to piggyback off that, if you want to know the trust level between us two, about two and a half weeks ago, I changed her shot.
Yeah.
Changed her shot, and when I changed it, if looks could kill, I wouldn't be right here right now. But she didn't fight me on it. She wasn't comfortable with it. She didn't like it. She just said it felt funny, and that's all we did. We simplified some things. She had a lot of movement in her shot. We simplified some things, and we shot and we shot and we shot. And we have an unwritten or unspoken verbal communication where I know when she doesn't like something, And, but I'm really stubborn. I'm like, no, we're gonna stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. And now, 2 weeks later, it looks really, really good. She looks really comfortable with it. And so every time it comes off her hand now, I'm like, okay, that looks really good. So that just goes to show the trust that she has in me. And, you know, that just says it all right there.
We'll take 2 more, Josh and Caroline.
Coach, in the first 5 minutes of the game, you had 5 missed mid-range jumpers, specifically in the first 15 seconds of each of those possessions. What role do you believe shot selection plays in some of your slow offensive starts?
None. They're all taking shots that I want them to take. They're all shots that they practice. It doesn't matter if you take it 10 seconds into the shot clock, if you take it 18 seconds into the shot clock. If it's a shot that we practice and we know that they can make, we want them to do it because we don't want them to thinking about, you know, whatever. And it's a lot of times we're running a quick hitter, you know, for an opportunity. If they have it, you know, shoot it. I don't know, maybe 2, maybe 3 shots I probably would have said, hey, maybe that's not one that we want to look at. But other than that, especially in the beginning, you know, because in the beginning I'll kind of script it. It's kind of like a football coach. I'll script what plays I want to run the first maybe 5, and then after that, we kind of see what the flow of the game is. And so I'm okay with the shots they took and they got.
Coach, 6 bench points tonight,
Yeah.
all from Clara. As non-conference slate kind of winds down, what are your expectations for your bench?
I need them to get better, and I need to trust them more. You know, tonight was a night, it was kind of difficult. You know, she got in foul trouble. We kind of got down a little bit. I really wanted to give Lexi Blue a little bit of opportunities, but, you know, when it's so hard, you know, with the COVID era, and, you know, you have, you know, 23-year-olds out there, and they had a couple of graduate transfers out there, and then you putting a freshman out there, you know, it's tough. You know, I thought it was going to be pretty good with the COVID stuff, and then all of a sudden, all this junior college stuff was coming up, so I don't know when it's going to balance back out, but I have to trust them. I have to, and I have to get Sanaya Tyler in there too. She's got some experience, but she's getting better with learning our system and what we need and how we need it, and we're going to need her experience as we continue to go throughout the season. So we need it. And it's something that has been on my mind. But honestly, as I look across the country and I look at it, a lot of people are playing 7 or 8 people. I watched the game where Belmont played Middle Tennessee State, and he subbed one time, and it was somebody for 3 minutes, and that was it. You know, so. But we need the bench to step up, and I got to be able to trust them, and I just got to put them out there.
Well, is it there? Merry Christmas. We'll see you on
Merry
the 20th.
Christmas.